What's up guys, and welcome back to another Euro 2020 fantasy video. So today I'm going to show you what I think are the best differentials for pretty much all of group stage, and that also are kind of like budget picks for their positions. So it's going to be a couple of strikers, a couple of midfielders, no defenders in this one. And when I say budget, it's players that are not like the premium ones. So for midfielders I'm looking at around 7 or lower pretty much. And I did do another not budget, but like differential video. But in that one I didn't really take price into consideration. So this one is just gonna be differential, like 2% or less ownership, and also pretty budget friendly. So one player is gonna be the same as in the last video, but otherwise it's gonna be new players. So let's get into the first player. So the first player is gonna be Domenico Berardi. So the reason why I have him, it's only 2% owned. He's very cheap, 6 million, and the reason why I have him is because in the last friendlies he actually started over Chiesa, who is 7 million, and everyone has him in the team just because he is kind of a budget player and people think he's gonna start and had a good season. But Berardi is even cheaper. I think that he might even start over Chiesa, and he has great stats from the season as well. I really like him, and I'm definitely gonna have him in my team. And if you go for him over Chiesa, I mean, if he starts over Chiesa, it's just really good, and you have 1 more million to spend on another player. So I think it's a good option. Then we have Wout, I can't really pronounce his first name, but Wout Weghorst, who is 7 million, which is for a striker really good, because obviously there's so many strikers you want to have in your team, but all the really popular ones are like Mbappe, Ronaldo, Lukaku, Lewandowski, Kane, all of them are like 11 million plus. So they're really expensive. So having a striker for 7 million that has a really good season behind him, really good stats, I think it's a great option. And he started too. Actually, these stats are maybe a little bit wrong because I made his stats before the last friendlies they had. But he started the 2 last friendlies for Netherlands, and he scored. Oh, he did score in one. That's true. He scored in one of them, the last one. But he started the two last ones. So I think he actually might start in the Euros. They have Luke de Jong, and it depends on kind of how they play. If they play a front 3 or a front 2 or front 4, like how they play, if they're gonna have 2 strikers or 1 striker. But I do think he has the possibility to start, and for 7 million, if he does, it's a great shout. Him together with Depay, I think could be a really good partnership. So I'm looking at him as well for my team. I'm probably gonna go Depay over him, but I might have him as well. We'll see. And then obviously I have to represent Sweden a little bit. So we have Sebastian Larsson for 6 million. Really cheap for a midfielder. There are not many good midfielders under 6 million, I mean 7 million, but around the 6 million marks there are a couple of decent players, and Sebastian Larsson is a decent player just because if you look at his stats, it's not bad. He can get assists, he can score, and he is on penalties for Sweden, which is great. He did miss his last penalty in the latest friendly game, so I'm not 100% sure if he's going to take the next penalty in the Euros. I think he will, but I'm not 100% sure, of course. But if he does, I think for 6 million he's a good, just like, enabler pretty much. He's cheap, you can spend the money on other players. And if he doesn't take penalties, I think Emil Forsberg could have taken them. And he is a little bit more expensive, 7.5 million, but I also think he's a much better player in terms of FPL wise than Sebastian Larsson. Like, he is the creator in Sweden. It says most of the corners, most of the free kicks, even though he shares them with Sebastian pretty much. I think Emil Forsberg takes most of them, and he could potentially even be on penalties now when Sebastian misses last one. So if he is on penalties, I think it's a great option, especially for the second game against Slovakia, and even against Poland, maybe even against Spain, but I think against Slovakia and Poland it's going to be great. And he has a pretty good season behind him, 7 goals and 5 assists in 29 games, like 1 point every other game. Not too bad. And if you remember, a couple of years ago, he was like the best assister in Europe. Like, he's a really good player. I think for Sweden, I think you want to have a couple of players in Sweden, especially in this third and second game. And then this guy, of course, Zielinski, was in my other video as well, and he has good stats. He's cheap, 7 million, 2% ownership. I think against Slovakia, he's going to be a great option. Even against Sweden, I think he might do something. I just think Poland is going to score a couple of goals, and I think he's going to be the creator behind Lewandowski pretty much. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.